Yeah, ditto. Everything you said. We like to ask our users, right? What you're doing today with pen and paper and a manual setting. You gotta be real with yourself. Are you really going to be doing that in a year, 2 years, or 3 years from now?
All right, welcome to a new episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. What's up, Dan?
Not much. How are you?
Doing well, man. I'm actually admiring you jamming out on the guitar sessions you've been doing lately, dude. I gotta say, kudos to you, bro. I love that.
Got a couple new gifts. This year's been good, so been playing them. So
that's awesome, man. Takes me back. So welcome to all our viewers and listeners. Want to go ahead and encourage you to like the episode, subscribe, and comment below with what you're going to learn from today's episode that you can apply to your business. Today, we don't have a coach. We don't have a technology provider. We have someone, we have a different opportunity here for you. And I want to say opportunity because they're doing some really cool things. What they're doing with technology between the sector of contractors and services and the materials that you need for fix and flips, or if you're going to be rehabbing a home, they're actually giving you an opportunity to connect with contractors and material people that have material to be able to help with your projects. So today we actually have Dibbs on the show, and we have... Welcome to a new episode of Real Estate vs. Technology, your #1 resource to get the inside scoop from top performing real estate professionals. How are they growing their business utilizing technology in today's market? Hear also from top performing coaches that can help and serve you in your real estate business, and also technology providers. Let's go deeper with these technology providers to ask them how they got where they're at today and how maybe their services could better serve your real estate business. A big shout out to Liftoff Agent for sponsoring our podcast. Go ahead and go to liftoffagent.com to learn about their marketing and positioning services to help scale your real estate business. If you haven't already done so, like the episode, subscribe. We want you to comment on YouTube what you learned from the episode and give us a review if you're going to be listening and streaming this podcast. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and enjoy this week's podcast of Real Estate vs. Technology. Luke and Case on. Welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey guys.
It's
Dibbs, actually,
Dibbs.
Which you said it. The point of it is bid backwards.
Yeah. Yes. So there you go. So I'm programmed over here. I'm programmed to say Dibbs, but it's Dibbs. I love that, and it's cool how with technology and what have you can like switch things around and make things more unique. What you're doing with your service offering, which is amazing. So let's kind of start off with like the story behind Dibbs and how you got to where you're at today. Dibbs. So we can. I know, right? So
good though. That's the point.
I love it. So as soon as you get it, you won't forget it. So tell us a story behind, how did this come to be where you're at today, and take us through kind of the story behind it all.
All right, yeah. So I'm Luke. I'm the CEO and founder here at Dibbs. I came up with the idea personally as a developer and contractor out of Rhode Island. I was doing a bunch of fix and flips, new constructions, working with customers. I was constantly bidding my services for subcontractors, bidding materials during the supply chain pandemic. And it was actually in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic where I came up with this whole idea for Dibbs. And essentially, we're a platform where a buyer makes a post for whatever service or material they're looking for. They can upload building plans, photos, videos. They can put in their budget, timeline, location. They can enter a description of what they need done. And then a seller, either a supplier or a contractor, would bid on that service or material that was being requested. And the main reason we're a big differentiator is the seller only has to bid on the jobs that they want, after they see that the poster's bidding criteria, like the budget, or if they need it done next week, or they need it done out, an hour away from them. Some of these guys might not be bidding on jobs if they knew the budget ahead of time or they knew the timeline. So that's really essentially what we do.
Wow, that's awesome. And in Case, how did you get connected with the company and Luke?
Yeah, so Luke and I met. My background is in tech. I've sold enterprise sales software solutions to large companies for the last several years, and most recently within the call center space. So I've always seen how software can solve massive problems at scale for some of the largest businesses in the world. And so when I met Luke, we had a very similar kind of mindset. We're very similar in age, had a lot of interest, but kind of our career paths at the time are very different. I'm in tech. He's in building things with, homes and in the real estate side, which there's not a lot of technology in Luke's world. And so when he came up with this initial idea, it was really got me excited, because not only could he really articulate the problem that he experiences as a GC or as a builder with trying to find subs or buy materials and understand, what the differences in his bids are and how to get the best price and meet his time. And he could also articulate what the solution to that problem would be, and then what the value, if we could create that solution, would be. And so that got me really excited to join up and bring this thing to life.
Wow, that is awesome. That's super cool, and I love what you guys are doing. Keeping it super simple, and it's definitely something of value and something that I think the marketplace really can utilize. So, what does it look like as far as the way that the contractors and the material, like all these people, the vendors, like how does that work as far as connecting them? Are you always growing? I'm sure the network's always growing, and you're always scouting and looking for new opportunities to be a part of the platform.
I mean, it's a two-sided marketplace. So obviously we got to build up, if we have a user come on the app in a new location that makes a post for painting and we don't have any painters on the site, then obviously, for them, until we have the painters built up. So what we're doing is, we've created kind of base critical mass numbers in each location that we plan on launching. How many electricians do we need per Rhode Island to get signed up on the app? How many HVAC contractors? How many painters? And we have a sales force that goes and gets those contractors on the system. Then we take that base, go to the suppliers and say, hey, we've got, X number of contractors in Rhode Island signed on the site. Then we start building up the supplier base, and then let the homeowners, they post organically what they're looking for once we have a little built up of users on there.
The advantage we've had, because, any marketplace relies on growing from the network effect. The advantage we've had is our third co-founder and several of our advisors helped build Ariba back in the late 90s, which was a procurement software platform used by some of the largest enterprises to facilitate and help them buy and sell different software and services. And then some of them went on, Rob DeSantis went on to help LinkedIn grow. And so between those two experiences that our advisors have had in helping get network effects to start from, several hundred people to now several billion users has been kind of an advantage for us to peek around the corner before we have to experience it.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations with having that inner circle. I mean, it makes a huge world of difference, and plus having the confidence, right? Which is awesome. And so I think a last question I have before we go into the mix up round with Dan to kind of go a little bit more into the tech side of things, like what does it look like? Is it free on both sides to get on the app and start to utilize it?
Yeah, it's free, no subscription method. So you only pay if you win. We take a transaction fee similar to Airbnb from both sides of the user. So if you win the best price, our feeling is the user's not going to care to pay a small percentage to Dibbs when you can clearly see they're saving money. And there's, tons of different revenue streams as we grow this thing. And as Kay said, as we end up getting that network effect and it's not as manual of a process and we're scaling the whole country, there'll be room for people to advertise on our site. There'll be plenty.
Yeah, but we're in continuous development mode. It's for Luke, right? Unlike a house, right? You start it and then it eventually comes to an end when the house is completely built. We're always going to be building this thing and innovating it. And, our latest is we just rolled out the web browser version of Dibbs. So now you can access it from your phone via the app, also from the website with the application there. And we've got an extensive list of roadmap features. And what's really cool, being early stage, is that Luke, obviously being the core customer #1 user, influences where the roadmap's heading, but then he can lead all of our advisors. We have several advisors that are in the field from large suppliers, large home builders, that are giving input on what key features they want built into the software too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I can see so many, like my mind just kind of going right now and racing from real estate professionals who are watching the show that potentially could advertise on there, from contracting companies that could advertise on there. I mean, there's probably a lot of various different things you could do with this. But I think at the end of the day, the fact that it's free for the general public to use and to be able to connect with individuals is nice. Yeah. And I think that it's a different location to be able to do as such. I know my wife and I were doing a lot of work to our home and just trying to find that right person, and the contract. Are they not? You're going on Craigslist, you're going all over the place to find these people. And it's nice that you guys are keeping a lot more.
That's a big differentiator for us too, is there's so many use cases. Like you said, like a real estate agent that has a client that they're looking to buy a house, but the roof needs to be done. You know, that realtor could make a post on behalf of their client, say, hey, I need a roof done in Portsmouth, take pictures of it. The same way that someone would make a post like that is the same way a large developer would make a post saying, I'm looking for 100 homes to be framed in Newport, Rhode Island, upload their building plans, and then let a massive framing contractor bid on the post, you know? So
wow.
And I, like Kay said, I really come from no tech background. So I came up with this and made it super easy to use, a super easy user interface, so that I know people like myself will come on and won't get stressed out with the technology, that anybody can use it, you know?
Dude. I love that. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and dive into the mix-up round with Dan Gandy to talk a little bit more about the tech behind the scenes, use case scenarios, and what have you. So Dan, go ahead and take away for our mix-up round.
Thank you, Norman. I think there's been a lot of good points that I want to pull out from this initial discussion, which is one would be the remote real estate investor who's trying to connect with new contractors and out of state and doesn't know the network and the right people to use. And I think kind of discussing that point for a second, this app, what type of vetting or requirements are there for contractors to get on there? Are you screening them? Like what? Yeah. Really just trying to figure that out, because people are going to ask the question.
So we have right now, you can upload your certifications online. So you can take a picture on your profile, whether it be a lead certification or for a general contractor that has his general contractor insurance. Even you could upload your insurance certificates, stuff like that. The more stuff you put on your profile, obviously the more vetted you're going to look, you know? So I also wanted to give the users the option that, like for me, if I need to get my home power washed, I might be fine hiring John Smith to power wash my house. I might not need A to Z power washing who's going to charge me 200% more than that guy, you know? So I wanted users to be able to pick, hey, do I go with the guy who doesn't have any certifications, but he's cheap, I think he can do a good job here? Or do I go with the guy who I can see here is clearly fully vetted?
And in the future, you know, that's one of the areas we'll continue to develop around, because we do see the opportunity to automate when a user does sign up their profile, having their certifications automatically upload, saving them the time, and also, you know, allowing us to handle that growth as we scale up.
Yeah, and we built this whole thing on Google Cloud, so we'll also tie into like Google reviews on all these companies, you know, where they can just write from the site. They won't have to say, who is Keith whatever plastering, and then go back to Google and type it in. They could just click right there, review, see the reviews right there. If they want recommendations or referrals, we'll let the user, if they want to put referrals in to the system, they could put referrals right there.
Wow.
No, I think that's awesome, because I think the element of trust is what bridges tech and opportunity, right? And I think that's what you're always, you know, we've all been burnt from. I mean, you as a builder have probably hired some subs that you're like, I'm never going to use this person ever again. So, and let's dig into the marketing for this. Like, so to take it to different markets, I know you discussed like how you were basically prospecting to contractors and to build that network, but for the end user, like the app downloader or the homeowner, what are you guys doing for marketing in order to get the word out, to get that subscriber base up?
Yeah, so our first and primary focus, just to be clear, is solving the problems that exist between the contractor, subcontractor, and supplier. It was easy enough for us to look at that and then say, hey, let's also include the homeowner in here, because there's a lot of friction that exists there. And actually, and so we did. It was easy enough. The way that we're going about kind of scaling on the side of the more, call it B2B side, right? GC to sub and supplier, is through some of these large targets of ours, these large builders and buyers. So we're working with them, whether it's anywhere in the nation, to identify projects they have being planned, and then we're attaching to how we can help them build that network up and get their projects done on time. On the homeowner side, we have been doing actually a lot of local kind of targeted marketing in the New England region.
Like commercials, press releases in local areas, billboards. Like
Real estate versus tech.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the name's catchy. So we saw right in Rhode Island when we launched the commercials, we watched the downloads go up. You know, it's just, we want to keep building our platform more and getting these big guys, the Gil Baines, the Suffolk Constructions, the Turners. If we get them as strategic partners, either as investors, advisors, and customers, and we can really show that they're doing big transactions, the homeowner making a post will come like that, you know, and that's why we're not focused first on them, because we know they'll come, you know, by the 10th fold as we start to scale. I mean, that's going to be the ripple effect once the homeowners start to come on.
Yep. And we're at every, you know, local anything construction conference or expo in the, you know, New England, from Pennsylvania all the way up to Maine. You'll find a Dibbs booth there.
That's good. Awesome. Getting the word out, that organic. That's awesome. Yeah. Last question for me really is that I think a lot of people don't understand like startup businesses and having an advisory board, but also seed funding and getting the right people on your team. Like when you first reach out to these people to grow your advisory board, like what were their initial reactions? Like, were they like, this is awesome, or like?
Yeah, well, so for me, I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my own business and stuff, and I originally reached out to Rob DeSantis seeking a real estate investment, and that's when he told me about his LinkedIn story. So he inspired me to come up with this problem, you know. So once I told him about my idea, and a guy like this who had been a part of LinkedIn was like, oh my God, that is a huge need. Like that is a grade A solution right there. Then I took him and went to other people and advisors and said, hey, this guy Rob DeSantis loves this idea. And it was kind of the ripple effect that way. Then we got guys from DocuSign and from Procore and from all these massive companies, you know, and then we'd have one more to say, hey, we got Rob DeSantis, Ed Kinsey, John McMahon. We got all these guys who believe in this thing. It makes it kind of hard for other people who don't have experience to say, well, I don't believe in it, you know? So we had all the right team and backing behind it. And that's what we're kind of doing with the customer advisory board now, trying to get the Gil Baines this up and get these big guys one by one, you know?
Yeah, no, that's huge, man. I grew up in real estate development and construction, and I think one of the biggest problems is like that logistics and that connection point, right? Technology wasn't there. And so, you know, somebody would be like, oh, you need to go order this material from over here and then pick up this material from over here. And, oh, wait, they're out. So now you got to search for 3 hours in the evening to find something you need. And I think it helps buyers, it helps procurers, it helps your project managers, everybody. I think you guys are onto something. So back to
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that was awesome, Dan. Thank you for taking on that mix-up round. So to unpack that really quick, any viewers and listeners right now, it's in your best interest, link down below, download this app. You're going to be able to be an early adapter, an innovator, and someone who could be a part of something that you already heard it from Luke and from Case. They're going after the big dogs. And with those big dogs, you know, it's like the domino effect. You know, it's like who is leading the sheep or herding the sheep. We don't really care about the other side of the coin. We want the person who's leading by example, who's at the forefront, that everyone will fall behind. So I think that's awesome that you've done that, and also went after these influencers or thought leaders in their own respects and their own regards to see the vision and get behind it and be like, no brainer. So
we also have some very cool promotions we're going to be rolling out here in the next couple of months. So all the more reason to join now, get in, get on the marketplace, make a post for any needs you have, and experience it. And we're always open to feedback. So leave a review, get in touch with us. Yeah, appreciate that.
I love that. I love that. So how long, so I guess we'll say 2 questions, and they'll be the first in 2 parts. So first question, 2 parts. How long has the company been around? And also, what's the vision? What's like the 5-year, 10-year, like what is the vision for the company and how long have you been around so far?
So it's been around, I came up with the idea in 2020. We formed the company December of 2020. We just launched our product March of this year, 2022. Our 5-year plan, you know, by 5 years, we definitely want to be global by then. We got a full operating model that we've built out with our CFO, Ed Kinsey, who he used to be on the board at DocuSign, and he was the CFO at Ariba, and he helped us build out a really conservative and thoughtful operating plan to get us through the next 4 years and on how we're going to scale this. And our vision is to just bring automation to the construction industry in all aspects of the bidding process for buying and selling of both services and materials.
Wow. I love that. That's super huge. That's simple, concise, and to the point, and exactly what it sounds like it's going to happen in the long term. I think the last question I have is completely off topic from this. Like, what do y'all like to do for fun as far as outside of building this up, doing what you're doing?
Each other on the golf course.
A lot of golf.
Golf? All right. All right. I love that. Any projects?
Starting a company definitely does impact your golf game.
Well, his at least, you know.
Oh man, I love that. That's super cool. That's awesome. No, I love what y'all are doing. I think that is definitely something that's unique and something that's definitely a need. And we're very honored here at Real Estate First Technology to have this opportunity to have you on the show, as that is our intention, is to have thought leaders and companies like yourself that are really pushing the needle forward on, say, exactly like the sector that you're doing here that ties in nicely to real estate and also technology. So let me redeem myself one more time before we leave the floor open to both of y'all. So it's not bids, it's Dibbs. So download Dibbs today, and want to redeem myself. And now ending out the show, want to go ahead and put the camera on y'all. And what would you like the viewers and listeners to take from today's episode as far as like maybe they're a contractor, maybe it's a real estate professional, like, you know, for them to then apply to their business, or maybe have this be a part of their business model to take from today's episode?
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, from a small job for the homeowner, you know, like I said, looking for a power washing job, or the big developer looking to buy framing material for 100 spec homes, you know, hop on Dibbs, check it out. Super easy to use for all parties involved. Whether they get on now or later, they're going to be on later eventually. So like you said, you know, they should start now, make a post. We got a promotion rolling out soon. We'll be doing a $10,000 cash giveaway to homeowners that want to make a post, and you know, and they can win $10,000 to put toward their home renovation project. And
wow,
we got a bunch of promotions lined up for the next year or so. So stay tuned.
Yeah, ditto everything you said. You know, we like to ask our users, right? What you're doing today with pen and paper and a manual setting, you gotta be real with yourself. Are you really going to be doing that in a year, 2 years, or 3 years from now? The answer is probably no. So adopt technology now. It's especially when it's being designed by someone who is in your boat. You know, like you, makes it easy to use. So we're here to make your life easier.
Wow. I absolutely love that. And I think that anyone who's listening right now, this is a good opportunity. If you are a small business owner and you want to get yourself out there, this could be a free marketing opportunity if you're that power washer, you know, or if you're someone that's starting a small construction company, whatever the case may be. I think that this is a huge opportunity. And I love that, you know, Luke, you're the success and the case study behind the application itself. It's not just like a lot of these big executive people that have no idea what they're talking about. You're there, you've done it, which is so much more authentic to the brand. So I just want to say congratulations.
No, thank you. Yeah, and I mean, even me myself, when I first came up with it and we were just in trial mode, you know, I was still using the product and found subcontractors all over Rhode Island that I hadn't even used before, that I ended up using through the product. Saved myself, you know, I've saved myself over $100,000 just using the product when I first launched. You know, so I really would urge people that are afraid to use the technology, maybe because technology scares them, to know, you know, I'm the one who built it. download the app, check it out. It's super easy to use. They won't be disappointed. And
wow, that's awesome. Well, Luke, Case, thank you both for being on Real Estate Versus Technology. This is huge.
Thank you.
Of course. I definitely think that our viewers and listeners can definitely take something from this episode they can apply to their business today, especially if they're in this space. Dan, thank you for co-hosting as always.
Yeah, thank you guys. Great to meet you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, right. I'm downloading the app myself. And to all the viewers and listeners out there, download the app. Thank you for coming in and checking out today's episode. Like always, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out our event, What's Next for Real Estate, October 5th and 6th, and we will see you on the next one.
All right.
Thank you for watching Real Estate vs. Technology, this week's brand new episode, and making it to the end, your real one. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for new episodes that come out every single week on Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you comment on this episode and you like the episode, you'll help this episode get out to more individuals. And if you want to join our Facebook group page, just click a link. It's a Facebook icon on our profile page here on our YouTube channel. Join our group page, network with individuals all across the world, and share what technology you're using to grow your business. The next link is to join our Real Estate vs. Technology brand new IG or Instagram page. If you go on any of our stories, you can see who's going to be on Real Estate vs. Technology before it actually goes live on our YouTube channel. And the last link would be if you want to be on an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. You pick a date and a time. We'll deep dive into your story and technology you're using to share that with other individuals that view our episodes weekly to inspire, enlighten, show up, and show out for people that love to watch these type of podcasts to have more success in their own business. Thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it. We will see you on the next one.